Yo, Big Collectibles here with Dokta Strange, hip hop artist extraordinaire, and we got a few topics we wanted to talk to everyone about. My camera's a little off centered. I got the closet door open, but you know what? It's all good like that. If there's a monster in the closet, Strange could yell out, yo, duck or something. So,
Going
all
on.
right, man. Um, a lot of craziness going on. We've been talking about the future of NFT. I was in earlier. I was just listening to the on in Twitter the the Veve discussion room, the ongoing marathon room, and somebody was in there talking about how they can see digital assets on Veve specifically taking over physical comic books. And so, you know, Strange, we spoke about this, that I do think that, just talking to my kids and seeing where their heads are at, they much rather, have a comic book on their phone, tablet, or what have you, versus the real. I hand them a comic book, they'll look at it for 10 seconds, and that's about it. But on their phones, I show them, in augmented reality, and they love it. You know.
Well, you know what's interesting, man? You know what's interesting when we're talking about even trying to just expose the younger generation to the hobby, whether it's cards or comics. You yourself, i- you have to be careful in even giving your kids your comic for them to read because if a kid could rip,
Oh, yeah.
tear anything by accident, even ding a corner up a card. So it's like, okay, we got. Think about this. Isn't it interesting how we have sleeves for cards, but nobody's made sleeves for comics? I think we need to work on that, brother. Because there should
Man,
be something to work. There needs to be a happy medium between having my comic raw and having it slabbed to where I can't even read it again, but it's graded. There's no in between. I
hmm
mean, yeah, you got bagged and boarded, but that we done talked about how dangerous that is. I
nah,
mean, since I
yeah,
was a
man.
kid, man, be avoiding that tape on the back. You know what I'm saying? I'm a pro now, but you can't really share your comics with your kids and get them
Mm-mm.
into it. You know what I'm saying? And with this, I mean, you could break out a Marvel number one and read it, throw it in augmented reality, put it on their lap, like
Right.
and where we are, a lot of people need to realize where we are. Where you start is definitely not where you end up, and we're not even in the first lap yet. This company is not even a year old as far as like being public and actually functional. So I mean, just because we're reading books on the phone and we're able to place them in AR, and you're still putting your finger on the phone and sliding it across, that doesn't mean in one day that it can't detect your hand. Your phone might be able to detect your hand in relation to where the book is, and then you may not need to touch the phone. You could just maybe swipe your hand in front of the phone and it turns the page. You know what I mean? Or even how we place the collectibles, like we may be able to do that with our hands, and literally place stuff in the showroom or in augmented reality instead of using the controls one day. So we don't know where this is going, man.
I know, I know. We don't. And I made a video talking about diversification and how people back, in the days when everybody was putting all their money in the stock market, and then when the stock market crashed, it didn't go too well because there was no diversification. They were pretty much putting in their money into a handful of stocks, and it just didn't go well. Now the stock market's still here, but those particular stocks are not. And he's jumping in. But yeah,
Interesting.
man, it's just diversification. I was telling you, look, I have a large collection of comic books, physical items, and sport cards. I think that now, when, like I was telling you, I want to get a uh Westbrook. I want to get a
I
Westbrook
get a
rookie.
Westbrook rookie.
And so I'm thinking, you know what? Instead of investing in a Westbrook rookie, maybe what I should do is invest it into a digital asset instead of the Westbrook. I've got emotional ties to Westbrook because I just the, the triple double machine, just all of that. I like his game, so I buy the cards because of that. I have an emotional tie to the player. So, I'm not saying I'm not gonna get it, but right now I don't have the money to go buck wild and get whatever I want. So I being cautious with what I'm spending my money on, I'm like, you know what? I have a lot of cards. That Westbrook rookie card may, I know he may
On
win
here.
a championship, right? And that's obviously his card is gonna see some love. But I don't know, man. I'm thinking of going elsewhere with my investment for, with that money. You know what I
Westbrook's
mean?
a
Well,
invest.
I was just gonna say real quick, and this will transcend any player or any concept you bring up, anything you bring up.
Okay.
It's the rich dad poor dad theory for me at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of like I heard Neo bring it up too on his thing. Like he doesn't buy stuff with new money. You know what I'm saying? He'll sell something and then use that money to fund something else.
Okay.
So my thing is like it's still, yeah, I'm backing away from the card market and comic market other than certain key issues and certain key players. But in order to get into those key issues and key players, I'm gonna sell a lot of the other stuff that I've either been holding on to or really don't mind parting ways with, or I might like have to take a step back to take two steps forwards, meaning I might have to go and get a couple of cars graded just to get the maximum out of them. So now
You
it
guys
might
hear
cost
me?
me a little bit of time, but I'm gonna at least maximize the situation and then use that to springboard me into the cards that are a little
Okay.
pricey.
Yeah.
Yo,
Eddie,
do you
Eddie,
guys hear
can
me
you
by
hear
any
us?
chance? I hear you.